So, it's taken a while for me to get him on the phone. It's only because it was my fault, because I had a dose of man flu. Andrew, how are you, sir? You all right?
I'm very well, thank you, Darren. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. My other
Apart
half,
from the man flu, obviously.
man. Well, yes, you're a man as well. You can tell the ladies, man flu does exist.
It does exist. I mean, we might slightly over-egg it, but it does exist.
There was no over-egging in my house. I felt my days were numbered. Right,
Oh,
okay.
dear.
So, let's go back to the Saturday, the battle round. How did you feel?
Oh, nervous again when it started, obviously, but absolutely thrilled to go through. I mean, if you'd gone back 6 months and said, Andrew, you're going to be in the semi-finals of The Voice next year, I would have said, no, not going to happen. What are you talking about? So, yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled and, yeah, excited for the semi-finals now.
I was watching you do Bon Jovi Always on the night, and it felt like a hard song. Is it a hard song to belt out?
It is a hard song. I can tell you this: that it didn't air on the night, but I was actually struggling quite a lot vocally. I lost my voice 2 days before we filmed that episode. So trying to squeeze out Bon Jovi notes was definitely a challenge. But we took it down a few. It was down a few keys anyway. No one can actually sing in the original key. But yeah, it was a challenge. But to be honest, it's good to kind of step out of your comfort zone, because I could have just gone and sang something easy and it might have sounded a bit boring. So I think me and Matt, we put our own kind of stamp on it, and hopefully the listeners at home enjoyed it.
Just going back to what you said to us last week, if you remember, they wanted you to do Elvis Costello's "She," didn't they, or something? and you went no.
I know. Well, in hindsight, maybe we should have done that, because I probably wouldn't have lost my voice if we'd done Elvis Costello. But you heard the Bon Jovi number. The Elvis Costello song is very pretty, but there's not an awful lot you can do to kind of add your own personality to it. So with the Bon Jovi, Matt was able to kind of show off his range. I did a few kind of riffs and tricks here and there, whereas the Elvis Costello would have just been kind of copy and repeat.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we did the Bon Jovi, even though I did lose my voice. So and obviously got through, so I was lucky, very lucky.
Well, you nailed it anyway, and I must admit, I don't like it when they have the suspense, and then you look at the judges, and the judges are looking at each other, even though you're only with what you only really matter what Ollie says, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, I know. Well, the thing is, the judges, I should say coaches, they'll tell me off. The coaches do kind of, at points, you can see they kind of look to each other for kind of advice. I'm like, don't look at him, just choose me. They definitely do kind of chat to each other or nod to each other, or kind of they try and give help. But I think you could see Ollie Murs turned across to his right, and Tom Jones just went, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's
Yeah,
all down, yeah, exactly. He left him on his own. But yeah, I'm glad you could see in my face. I had my eyes closed, and my head was very much down towards the ground. I did think I was going home, so yeah, I was very grateful to be chosen.
What made you think that though? Because we were watching it, we thought, you've got this, you've nailed it. What made you think that it was the end?
I think, to be quite honest, because I knew that I was struggling vocally. I mean, perhaps the listeners couldn't hear that at home, but I couldn't give what I wanted to give in the performance. And obviously, Matt is a seasoned West End performer, and he was just singing it no problem whatsoever, belting out all the highest notes possible. So I just thought, you know what? I actually thought, and to be honest, I still think to this day, he sang the rendition better than I did. Admittedly, I wasn't at 100%, but I think he should have gone through, or at least if there were steals, because at the time we sang, there were no steals left either. So I definitely think he could have had a slot in the semi-finals, but that's just the nature of the beast, isn't it? Someone's got to go home. Yeah. I'm just glad it wasn't me.
Yeah. So how was it your other half watching in the wings as well at the time?
He was indeed. We actually one of our, because obviously because of COVID, we were only allowed. You were only allowed someone from your bubble or from a support bubble. So one of our friends lives in Crewe. So she actually came along to stand with Charlie, because my fiance, the first time, she was so nervous on her own, bless her, and she was because obviously we actually wait around for about 12 hours, believe it or not. So we arrive at the studio at about 9 a.m. and I didn't sing until about 9 p.m. for the blind audition. So obviously the battle came around, and I thought, you know what, let's invite Lauren because she's in our kind of support network. So it was nice for her to have someone to kind of stand with and like hang out during the day. But yeah, it was special to have them both with there. It's been a shame just because of the whole virtual audience this year, because you'd much rather thrive off a live crowd, wouldn't you? But yeah, it's nice to have someone there supporting you.
How is she with all the suspense when they have to go to the coaches and decisions have to be made? Because it's a bit, I've put it in my perspective, it's a little bit like waiting for a baby to arrive, right? So this, I'm sitting there waiting, going, come on. Just say, Andrew, come on, make your decision. Come on, hurry up, do it. A bit like when my daughter Millie was born. It's like, come on, today, come on, when's it going to happen?
I know. Well, I think the thing is, when you get the TV edit, they add all the kind of suspense noise over the top, whereas in the studio, it's longer, it's more drawn out, and there's no noise whatsoever, so it's like deafeningly quiet. So it was definitely, there was loads of suspense, and I think you could see in her eyes, I think the camera panned to her, she had her eyes closed and she was grabbing Lauren's hand for dear life because she just thought Andrew's going home, because she knew what I was dealing with backstage with my voice problems. So I think, you could hear her scream when you said the person I'm going through is Andrew, and there was a very, very loud scream coming from Charlie's corner.
So what happens next then? So we're into the semis now, aren't we? So
we have been preparing, semi-final time, which is, like I said earlier on, I still can't believe it. Go back to the first auditions, because obviously before the blind, we actually send in clips on the internet. So it's been a long old haul since I first auditioned for the show. So yeah, being in the semi-finals I'm still having to pinch myself, but it's been really cool. We've actually moved locations because we were shooting in Manchester for the first 2 rounds. But we've just gone down to Elstree in London to film the semi-final, which is really cool. Loads of unbelievable films and kind of TV programs have been made there over the years. So it's quite something just to be on the site, let alone be in the semi-finals of The Voice.
How's your throat anyway?
It's much better now. God, yeah. No, much better. I'm really excited. Obviously, at this point in the competition, everyone's just amazing. There's so many good acts in the semi-finals. So, yeah, fingers crossed. I hope to be back on and we can get excited about the next round. But, it's been a pleasure to chat to you anyway. I'm going to be on this Saturday night on ITV. I think it's at 8:30 p.m. So, yeah, we've had the first semi-final on Saturday. So there's only 3 of us left to sing this weekend. I'll be up against Grace Holden and Nathan Smoker on Team Ollie, which is, very daunting. They're both unbelievable singers, but we're looking forward to it, and I hope you all enjoy listening.
Well, we are behind you 100%. So Saturday, ITV1, The Voice UK, Andrew from Macclesfield. Do it for Cheshire, fella.
Oh, thank you very much. Have a great day, Darren.
Cheers, thank you.